Story 1. The Unfamiliar Face. Submitted by Andrea. This is going to sound crazy, and this isn't your typical campfire ghost story. But let me tell you, it's creeped me out more than any of those ever did. Okay, let me back up a bit. I'm a Snapchat addict, like, big time. I love the filters, and that dog one is my favorite. I've got those streaks going on with friends. I'm into all the spontaneous, disposable video junk. One evening, about a month ago, I found myself home alone. My roommate had gone to see her boyfriend, and I was there in the house, lounging in my PJs, watching some rerun episodes of The Office. Pretty standard stuff. So while I'm sitting there, I figure I might as well send a couple of goofy snaps, right? So I flip on the front camera and get ready to snap a selfie. I was in my room with just the dim glow of my desk lamp. The lighting wasn't great, but I was just fooling around. Wasn't looking to shoot a Vogue cover or anything. I swipe to this dog filter. You know the one. Turns you into a puppy with big ears and a snout. I make a silly face, sticking my tongue out, mimicking the whole puppy dog look. And that's when I noticed something odd. The second face filter pops up. But here's the catch. I was completely, utterly alone. My first reaction was like, what the hell? But I rationalized it, thought it must be some glitch. I even laughed at myself for getting a slight shiver down my spine. But then, it got weirder. The second face filter, it was moving. It was actively tracking something in my room, as if an invisible face was right there with me. I tried to shake it off. Maybe it was some tech goof, Snapchat being buggy or something. But man, it sure as hell was freaky. I decided to ignore it and then just went to bed. Fast forward to the next day, I met up with my best friend, Liz, for coffee at our favorite cafe. I told her about the weird Snapchat thing. Of course, she laughed it off, telling me I'd been watching too many horror flicks. To prove it wasn't just my imagination, I decided to recreate the scene. So I whip out my phone, open Snapchat, and put the dog filter on. But there was no extra face filters this time. Just mine. We laughed about it, dismissing it as just a weird glitch. Little did I know, things were about to take a twisted turn. That night, I got back home. My roommate was still at her boyfriend's, so I had the place to myself again. Wasn't thinking about Snapchat or any of that. Just got ready for bed, same old routine. But curiosity, being the person that I am, it got the better of me. I opened Snapchat and decided to try the filter again. I nearly dropped my phone when I saw it. The dog filter was back on the invisible face, floating around my room. This time, it felt different. The room felt colder, and the filter seemed to linger at certain spots more than others. I freaked out, but thought maybe if I took a picture, I could show Liz that I wasn't just making things up. So I snapped a picture with the filter and sent it to her. Within seconds, she texted back. My heart nearly stopped as I read her message. "Who's that in the pic with you?" I quickly opened the snap I'd sent her from the chat, and there it was. In the place of the second dog filter, there was a face, an actual face of a man I'd never seen before. He looked like he was in his mid-30s, wearing this creepy, ear-to-ear grin. It was like he was there, in my room, but invisible to everyone except Snapchat. After that, I was done. I freaked out, left my house, and spent the night at Liz's. I stopped using Snapchat completely after that. I still have no idea what happened that night. Could have been some insanely intricate AR bug, but man, it still gives me the creeps. It's safe to say I'll never look at Snapchat the same way again. Story 2. The Vanishing Streak. Submitted by Michael. Alright guys, brace yourselves, because this isn't your everyday Reddit post. I mean, it's so far out there, I'm still having a hard time getting my head around it. But here it goes. So, this story revolves around me and my buddy. Let's call him Jack for now. Jack and I go way back, like sandbox days back. We had this Snapchat streak going on. One that we took way too seriously. We were clocking in at almost 800 days. A snap every single day. No kidding, we snapped through good days, bad days. Even when Jack got chickenpox and looked like an alien, we kept that streak going. One day, out of the blue, Jack stopped replying. I sent him my regular morning snap, the "Good morning world" with my ugly, half-asleep face. But there was no response. It was weird. Not like Jack at all. His snap just lay there, unopened. And our streak timer turned into that dreadful hourglass. That damn thing felt like the ticking time bomb from hell. I tried to stay calm. Told myself maybe his phone died or something. But he didn't show up at school. Didn't respond to my texts. Nothing. He was just gone. A week went by. A whole week with radio silence from Jack. I was freaking out at this point. Then, late one night, I get a snap notification from Jack. My heart leapt, but the relief was short-lived. The snap was a picture, blurry as hell, of a street. A street I didn't recognize, covered in darkness and dim streetlights. No caption, no context, nothing. Before I could even respond, another snap came in. This one was of an alleyway, dark and grimy, filled with dumpsters and who knows what else. Snap after snap came flooding in, all random, nondescript locations, all in the dead of night. It was like someone was just blindly clicking away, not even checking what they were capturing. But it was the last snap that really sent chills down my spine. It was a picture of Jack. Or rather, half his face. His eyes were wide with terror, mouth slightly open as if he was about to scream. And that was it. The snaps stopped. I tried to call him, tried to text him, but it was like he'd vanished into thin air. The next morning, I got a call from Jack's mom. She was hysterical. Jack was missing. He hadn't come home that night. The cops got involved and traced his last known location through his phone's GPS. It was the alley from the snaps. They found his phone there, lying in the dirt, Snapchat still open. But Jack, he was nowhere to be found. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. They never found Jack. His room was left untouched. His Snapchat account still active. Sometimes, when I'm scrolling through my chat list, I see his Bitmoji and it sends shivers down my spine. That damn streak. Our goofy morning snaps. It all seems so sinister now. I still use Snapchat, but it's never been the same. Every time I see that hourglass next to a name, I feel a lump in my throat. I can't help but think of Jack, of that terror-filled snap, and the endless, unanswered questions. Story 3. The Specter in the Snap Map. submitted by Michelle. So this story kind of sounds like something straight out of a Stephen King novel. Let me set the scene for you. It was the summer of 2022, and I was interning at this big shot corporate firm. I know, sounds pretty snooze fest, but it was a great gig. I was living the 9-to-5 life, drinking way too much coffee and spending my free evenings exploring the city. Pretty standard, right? I had this group of friends from college spread out across the country, also doing their intern things. We used the Snap Map feature from Snapchat to keep tabs on each other, like a long-distance game of tag. It was fun, watching each other's Bitmojis travel around, making bets on who'd end up in the weirdest location. One friend in particular, Anna, was interning at some big tech company out in Silicon Valley. Her Bitmoji was always at the office, pretty much 24/7. We used to joke that she'd started living there. Anyway, one day, I was killing time during my lunch break, scrolling through Snap Map, when I noticed something odd. Anna's Bitmoji wasn't at her usual Silicon Valley spot. Instead, it was in some tiny town I'd never heard of, out in the Nevada desert. I mean, it was in the middle of absolutely nowhere. I figured it was a glitch or something, so I shot her a snap, joking about her secret desert life. But she responded with a confused selfie from her cubicle. She wasn't in the desert, but her Bitmoji was still there, clear as day on my screen. From then on, things started getting strange. Anna's Bitmoji remained in the same spot for days, even though she swore she hadn't been anywhere near Nevada. We all started digging, trying to figure out what the deal was with this weird desert town. After some internet sleuthing, we discovered the town was basically a ghost town with a population of less than 100. It had an old gas station, a rundown motel, and a bunch of dilapidated houses. And get this, it was supposedly haunted. Apparently, back in the day, it was a mining town, but a string of mysterious disappearances and eerie occurrences led people to abandon it. Some folks claim to have seen ghostly apparitions and heard strange noises during the night. The usual ghost town stuff, right? Still, we couldn't figure out why Anna's Bitmoji was stuck there. That is, until one night when I was on Snap Map checking out the ghost town. I zoomed in on Anna's Bitmoji, and as I did, I saw something that nearly made me drop my phone. A new Snap Map location popped up, like a business or a landmark. The icon was creepy. Old school motel sign, and the name read, The Vanishing Point. I clicked on it, expecting to see a usual crowdsourced picture. Instead, there was only one snap. It was a picture of Anna. Not her Bitmoji, but a real picture of Anna, standing in front of the creepy motel, her face pale and eyes wide with fear. But here's the kicker. The snap was uploaded by her account. I immediately called her, freaking out. I'll never forget the tremor in her voice when she told me that she had never taken that picture, had never been to that place. From then on, we stopped using Snap Map. Anna even deleted her account. We never figured out what the deal was with the ghost town or why Anna's Bitmoji was there. The Vanishing Point location disappeared from Snap Map a few days later, like it was never there. I know it sounds insane, but I swear it's true. I'm not a big believer in the paranormal or anything, but after this, I can't help but wonder. Sometimes, late at night, I'll open Snap Map and stare at the deserted piece of Nevada desert, my heart racing. I can't explain it, but Something about it just feels off. And believe me, I don't plan on finding out why.